Hey guys, what's up? This is Trisha with Kincherling Creating, and today I'm going to be experimenting with some glow-in-the-dark paint. So this stuff here is something new I'm trying out. I'm going to see how it works, being on top or underneath or mixed in with acrylic paints. And I have the liquid form and powdered form here that I'm going to try out, and we're going to see how this works, because something I'm trying to do is I'm hoping to be able to make a painting to where you see one thing during the daytime and a totally different painting during the nighttime. So like revealing two paintings in one kind of deal. So yeah, let's get at it and have some fun. We're gonna start with some basic acrylic colors, and we're just gonna do some random designs and see how it goes. So here we go. Okay, so down here, I apologize. Down here I have my setup. So I have some paints already set up over here. And we're just gonna do a basic design, and I wanna make sure you can see everything okay. So I'm gonna start off with something a little dark. So I have a dark brown here, and I'm just going to layer this on just to see if it'll show up and if it'll look right for that section. So hopefully this will dry pretty quickly. Usually acrylics do. And we're going to see how that'll look. So I'm just going to layer some different strips of paint here to get an idea. And I might do one that has layers on it. So maybe if I did some brown down here, but I have some green over top. Because I want to see how this looks with different layered colors as well, and not just the color by itself. And then we'll see how the glow-in-the-dark paint looks on its own without any paint at all, just directly onto the white paper. And I'm just using a basic cardstock kind of paper for this, just so I can get kind of an idea here. So like if I had grass layered over top, just gonna experiment with that. See if it shows up, if I have something hiding in the grass maybe. So yeah, we'll just see how that looks. Okay, and we'll do some lighter colors, see how it shows up with the lighter ones. So like the light blue, it's like a sky maybe. And we'll experiment with the yellow. Underneath, and these are kind of, some of these are like neon colors. This is like a neon yellow, so it's already pretty bright. So it may or may not work on that, but we'll see. I want to experiment all areas and the best I can, so I can get a pretty good idea of what this is going to look like. And I don't know if I'll wait till it dries or if I'll go straight over top. All right, so now down here I'm going to do some white. Actually, this is more like a milky white. So I'm going to put some here. So it's a little different from the white paper that I have. So I can leave a spot that's just regular white too to see how it works as well. So I'm just going to leave that bottom portion for just the glow-in-the-dark. And we'll see how this works. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to get some red. And we're going to work with the red over here. We'll see how this turns out. And we got to mix the glow-in-the-dark paint with a color as well. And I might do that with the milky white, just to see how that would show up, because I want this paint to be kind of hidden. So maybe actually I'll put in some of the brown pigment, and I'll put that over top of the brown and see if I can hide it but have it still kind of glow. So let's see, for this last one we have the red. I think I will just do, let's just see how this looks on its own to start with. So this is the glow-in-the-dark paint. I'm just gonna put some on the paper here. Whoop. Okay, I'll just spread that out. Okay, so that's a pretty good white, almost kind of like a clear color, so that's great. It doesn't look green or anything, so that's wonderful. And you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's on the paper if I just do it white on top of white, which is kind of what I want. So we'll see how that looks once it's been in the light for a little bit. And I'm going to apply some to on top of these paints now. They're not fully dry, but we'll just see how it looks. And I'm going to experiment. I'm going to put a little bit of this brown paint over here on my palette. And I'm going to mix some powder in with this. So let me get the powder out. And they really do warn you to like wear a mask when you're doing this. I'm just going to try to be extra careful so I don't inhale this. I think if I'm careful it'll work. And there's usually certain percentages that you mix in, but I'm just going to experiment and just see how this goes. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of powder in. And we'll see if that shows up bright enough. If not, I can always add more. So over here on top of the brown, I'm going to add a little bit over top, and we're just going to see how that shows up. I'm going to try adding maybe a little more powder. Mix it even more and see if it becomes even brighter. Or if it doesn't show up at all, because maybe this is too dark of a paint. I can kind of see a little lighter on there, but maybe it's just because the other part is dried already. I'll add just a little bit more. And we'll see how this turns up. Okay. All right. And I'm excited to see how this goes. And I'm just going to put just the glow-in-the-dark paint by itself on here. And I'm going to apply it to these different colors, and we'll just see how it shows up. Okay, let me pull this down a little bit. Hopefully you can still see everything okay. All right, so I'm trying to rinse out my brush now so I can just have the glow-in-the-dark paint. So on this side here, I'll just add just the paint by itself on there so you can see it. Does look kind of like a white paint, which really is not ideal, but maybe I could try actually adding some of this in with the regular paint and see what that does. If that works just as well as the powder. Put some down in here, maybe on the white paper itself, and see if we can get that to glow. Let me get some regular brown paint and do that here. If this works just as well as the powder, then there's no point in getting the powder, so we're going to experiment. There we go. Okay, so I have many different dabs on here, and I'm going to mark, okay, this one is low, medium, high amount. Okay, this one is the liquid. I'll do LQ for that. And this is powder, so we'll do P for powder. That way we can keep track of where we put everything when it comes time to check it. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the other colors, and we'll see how it works with overlapping that color. I'm hoping, see if it's white like this, I'm hoping it dries clear. So we'll have to see how that works. So I have my glow in the dark, and we'll see if we can add just some dots here and there. They'll show up and glow, or if they will fade away once it dries. And we'll see how it works over top of the layer. Okay, now for the lighter colors, we'll see how those, if they turn out a little better. Okay, so let's get some on here. I'll do a circle. And some random circle and a line, why not? Okay, I'm going to try some on the yellow. Okay, so the yellow is actually pretty cool because you can't see it as well when you put it on there. So that's not too bad if I were to put it on something that's yellow. Okay, let's see on the red. Okay, and now we'll see it on top of the milky white. And get a little more paint here. Okay, a little bit more on there. And we'll see what it is by itself. And now over here on this bottom portion, I'm going to put the glow-in-the-dark paint on the bottom quite a bit. And then I'm going to put paint over top, and we will see how that looks as well. And I might just do a light colored paint just to see how that'll look. Because if I do it too dark, I'm sure it won't show through. But we're experimenting. So I'm just gonna do, let's do a light blue over top, because that's kind of in between a light and a dark really. I'm gonna put that over top of the glow-in-the-dark paint, which kind of shows, it's kind of mixing it a little bit, but we'll see. All right, and now we're just gonna let this dry and let this sit in the light, and we will come back to this later.